Okay, so now on this same day, we're in the 17th chapter of the Sri Navadwipa Mahatmya, and all the devotees have gathered together. Shachi Mata has offered a beautiful feast. Everyone's so happy to come together. There's something special when great devotees come, even though they may be experiencing enormous separation from their beloved Sri Krishna, from Radha and Krishna. When a great devotee comes, that separation goes away. There's a beautiful story in the Bhakti Ratnakara. Over and over this happened when Srinivasacharya was traveling amongst the associates of Mahaprabhu after he had disappeared. And they were all in the throes of just unbearable separation. But somehow when Srinivas Acharya came to them, he was a young boy, but he was so deeply imbued himself with love and devotion to Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was in his heart. And somehow or other, in his association, they felt as if they were associating with Mahaprabhu. Right? And their own moods were pacified. And then they could give him instruction and stories which then pacified his own moods of distress and separation. This is the beauty and the joy of Vaishnava association. This is the special service that Sri Ramananda Roy and Sub Damodar offered to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he was always, especially at nights in the Gambhira, in stage of such intense separation. And their activity was to sing to him very beautiful verses about Radha and Krishna's meeting and being together, to fill his heart with these moods and to pacify and overcome the pain of that separation. Right? So now, Jiva Goswami is going to ask Nityananda Prabhu some amazing questions. So this chapter begins with the Mangalacharana. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chanda, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Gadadhara Prema Rasananda. All glories to Sri Gaurachandra, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, all glories to Sri Gadadhar Pandit, all glories to the bliss of Prem Ras, Rasananda, the bliss of Prem Ras. Jaya Jaya Sri Vas Adi, Bhakta Navadwipa Jaya, Jaya Nama Sankirtana, Premera Nilaya. All glories to Srivas and the other devotees. All glories to Sri Navadwipa Dham. All glories to Sri Nam Sankirtan, the storehouse of Prem. Early the next morning, Sri Nityananda Prabhu was gracefully present in Srivas Angan. Streams of tears flowed from his eyes as he was carried away by Gaura Prem. Countless Vaishnavas and virtuous persons surrounded Sri Nityananda Prabhu on all sides, and they also were deeply immersed in the ocean of Sri Gaura Prem. One day we'll have that opportunity to be in that company. Many of us had a taste of that when the associates of Nityananda and Mahaprabhu came and taught us and interacted with us and awakened within us this kind of appreciation and understanding and a seed of that greed. Right? And the more we hear these kinds of pastimes, we pray that that greed and that desire will grow in our heart, right? Because this is the price. Tatvara lolyam api mulyam ekalam janmakoti sukratayana labhyate. Nothing else works. Not practices of austerities and fierce rules and regulations for many, many births, but only when we've awakened this greed, lolyam. Right? This is the root cause, the sole cause of entering into this higher stages of this rag bhakti, right? To be with these associates and to experience their emotions of selfless love and service. So, now Nityananda's there surrounded by so many of these Rasik devotees. And at that moment, Sri Jiva Gosvami, who was intoxicated by praying for the divine couple, arrived there. After offering his prostrated obeisance at Sri Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet, Sri Jiva began to roll in the dust of Srivas Angan. So whenever you go to Srivas Angan now, just remember all the pastimes that took place there, all the dust that is there, all the power. And we pray to that holy spot, please reveal these things to us. It's like Jiva Goswami in the company of Nityananda Prabhu. Mahaprabhu and his associates appeared and manifested so many times during their parikram. And that's possible in the modern day as well. This happened to Vijay Kumar and Brajanath. This happened to our own Srila Prabhupada and our other acharyas. Sri Nityananda Prabhu tried his utmost to check his own emotions and asked Sri Jiva, "In how many days from now will you go to Sri Vrindavan?" Sri Jiva said, "The Lord's order is paramount. I will depart for Vrindavan whenever you order me to go." "O Lord, before I go, I want to ask you some questions. Please give answers to these inquiries for the welfare of your servant." Now this is going to be really important. Listen to this. This Sri Navadwipa Dham is identical to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Why then make the effort to go to Vrindavan? Why indeed? So many beautiful pastimes are there. And he was so happy in the company of Vishnu Priya, who treated him like a son, who gave him so many beautiful teachings. So why endeavor to go to Vrindavan if they're non-different and Vrindavan is here? Right? But also we remember in the very beginning we heard that there are specialities that each of these dhams have. What is Vrindavan? The place of Madhurya, the tasting of the supreme sweetness of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And Navadwipa is what? Audharya. Now, Audharya is in Vrindavan, Madhurya is also in Navadwipa. But Audharya is prominent in Navadwipa. The distribution, the munificence, the giving of this, the awakening of that eligibility. So why make the effort if they're identical? After hearing Sri Jiva's question, Sri Nityananda Prabhu replied as follows: "This is a most abstruse manner, so listen attentively. Very difficult, very subtle to understand. Please remember that as long as Sriman Mahaprabhu's pastimes remain manifest, no one who is averse to the Lord should come to know of this topic. Sri Navadwipa Dham and Sri Vrindavan are one identical truth. There is no question of either of them being superior or inferior to each other. Although Sri Vrindavan Dham is the storehouse of Ras, it is impossible for someone who is unqualified to attain it." Okay, that's the first clue. You go to Vrindavan, if you don't have the qualification, even though that is the very center of the highest Ras, the storehouse, without the qualification, nothing. Therefore, that very Sri Vrindavan Dham bestows qualification to taste Ras upon the living entities by manifesting as Navadwipa. Sri Radhakrishna's pastimes are the essence of all rasas, and therefore no one can quickly attain qualification to enter them. Yeah, so this is the topmost. You can't just jump into this. And that's a good thing for us to understand. Sometimes when we were new devotees, Srila Prabhupada would give us encouragement, and sometimes we would interpret that to mean that at the very end of this life, we're all automatically going to Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, right? Because we're following Srila Prabhupada, and that's enough. But in so many other places, Srila Prabhupada also made it very clear that you can't go until you're completely purified of all external desires, all separate desires, and your heart has been imbued with this greed and this deep spontaneous attraction. So many times he's spoken to that. You could call it the fine print to the contract, but actually it's pretty clear when you understand that. And all of our acharyas as well, even in the Madhurya Kadambini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, to understand rasa tattva, you may even be on the platform of bhav, and it may take you a few lifetimes on that platform before you're fully understanding, immersed in that level of understanding and taste that makes you eligible to go to Vrindavan. We can go to Vaikuntha easily, relatively easily, like the story of Ajamil and others. But to go to Goloka Vrindavan, this place of topmost ras, Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes, Radha Krishna Leela Hoy, Sarva Rasa Sar, Sahasa Tahaite Nahi, Hoya Adhikar. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur recounting Nityananda Prabhu's instruction. Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes are the essence of all rasas, and therefore no one can quickly attain qualification to enter them. Kata Janma Tapasya Koriya Hoya Gyan Gyana Paripakve Paya Rasera Sandan. By performing austerities for many lifetimes, one will attain knowledge of philosophical truth, Tattva-gyan. When this knowledge ripens, a desire manifests to know about ras. Even though this is the case, there are many kinds of obstacles at every moment in obtaining it. Therefore, it is difficult to obtain the great wealth of ras. No one will obtain that ras just by going to Braj. Because of one's offenses, ras becomes tasteless. So can't just jump to Radhakund and go there, right? Can't find some Babaji who says, I'll give it to you very easily for a small donation. As long as we're carrying the burden of offenses in our hearts, all these attempts will have the opposite effect, right? Inappropriate attempts. The aspiration for ras, because we're not tasting it, the austerity and all becomes dry, and then we'll seek pleasure once again in the material ras. And until we've purged ourselves of aparad. This is the instruction in the pastime of cleansing the Gundicha temple, Mahaprabhu, in the Madhya Lila. He says, so, in this terrible Kali Yuga, the living entities are always engulfed by offenses. Furthermore, their life lasts for only a few days and is filled with many kinds of troubles. It is impossible to obtain Braj Ras even if one wants it. Therefore, Krishna's mercy is the sole case of obtaining it. Icha korileo Braj Rasa Labhanaya Ataiva Krishna Kripa Rasa Hetu Hoya. Krishna Kripa. The soul means Radha Krishna Kripa Kori Jivada Upar Vrindavana Saha Samudikta Athapura Para Ekamurti Radha Krishna Prabhu Gaura Hari Shachi Garbhe Navadwipa Ebe Avatari. Therefore, in order to bestow mercy upon the living entities, Sri Radha Krishna have appeared in their combined form of Sri Gaurahari from Mother Shachi's womb. They, along with Sri Vrindavan Dham, have appeared in this very Navadwipa. Because remember, even during the time when Krishna was here, people could not understand his Vrindavan Leela, could not recognize what that meant. Who was qualified? Even, we had so many teachings in the 10th canto. Even the Mathura Ramanis, who had so much devotion to Krishna and lived right next door in Mathura and came to him with offerings, were not qualified to stay there. They had to go back and perfect their love, their worship. The Palinda girls, from a distance, their love had not matured. Even the gopis that heard Krishna's flute song calling to come dance at night, in the autumn, beautiful autumn night, some of them were not qualified to immediately come. Even though they had such extreme love, they tried to go, but they were checked by their husbands, right? Because of the smallest of obstacles, or anarthas, which is that they had the conception that they were married and they had children. They had been touched by another. Okay? And by Krishna's mercy, yes, they did get that opportunity. Some, even that night, they were so plunged into separation, being locked in their rooms, that Krishna personally came to them. And Purnamasi Yogamaya left a shadow gopi for their families and gave them their spiritual body, which they were able to go to that Leela undetected. But others were told, soon you will be able to go. When their fire of desire and separation burned so strongly that in a month or two, in the next one or the one after that, they'll be able to go. But very, very difficult to get that thing. But Mahaprabhu's come to taste himself and to give her. So, did I read this? What did I read this lesson? Right, so therefore, in order to bestow mercy upon the living entities, Sri Radha Krishna have appeared in their combined form of Sri Gaurahari from Mother Shachi's womb. They, along with Sri Vrindavan Dham, have appeared in this very Navadwipa. Rasa adhikara jive korena pradhan aparada bhatta kabu nahi payastan. In order to give qualification to the jivas to taste ras, Sri Gaurahari provides such a path where offenses cannot create any obstacle. This is the amazing gift of Mahaprabhu, that this Kali Yuga we are so filled with aparad, offenses and sin, it'd be impossible to overcome. So Mahaprabhu comes in his Krishna comes as Mahaprabhu in his most merciful form to give us opportunity to enter into this by taking shelter of the holy name and by residing in Sri Navadwipa Dham. Qualification for ras appears and all kinds of offenses are removed. Within a short time, Sri Krishna Prem will manifest within the sadhak's heart, and a strong longing to understand the loving mellows of Sri Radha Krishna will awaken there. In this way, by obtaining the mercy of Sri Gaurahari, the living entity attains Sri Vrindavan, the abode of Yugala Kishore's pastimes. So, Navadwipa Dham is the place of Gaurahari's mercy. Right? We can advance so quickly there. And then Nityananda Prabhu goes on to say, this is a most confidential truth. Therefore, do not instruct anyone on this matter. There cannot be any difference whatsoever between Sri Navadwipa and Sri Vrindavan, although Vrindavan is present in this Navadwipa Dham, you have now the qualification to take shelter of the pastime place of Sri Radha Krishna, Sri Vrindavan. Therefore, Sri Braj Dham is now your shelter. O son of Balaba, that's Jiva, his father's name, Anupam, his other name is Balaba. The duty of a human being is to obtain qualification for Braj Ras by first taking shelter of Sri Navadwipa Dham. Having obtained Braj Ras, one should reside in Sri Vrindavan Dham, because there the living beings attain the delight of Ras. When any virtuous person obtains the mercy of Sri Navadwipa Dham, it is very easy for him to attain Sri Vrindavan Dham. Hearing all these deep and confidential philosophical truths from the mouth of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Jiva Gosvami, full of supreme happiness, caught his divine lotus feet and said, O Lord, O you who know the essence of all essential truths, I have one more question. Although many people live here in Sri Navadwipa, why do not all of them engage in loving devotion to Sri Krishna? A great doubt has arisen in my mind. Although these people reside in a dham, especially this Navadwipa, how can offenses remain in them? How then can the servants of Vishnu, the Vaishnavas, remain without worries about committing offenses? O abode of the entire universe, O you who are eternally untainted, please reconcile this. Nitai Janava Padachachaya Ashajar Se Bhakti Vinoda Kahe Akinchanachar. The lowly and destitute Bhakti Vinod is singing the glories of Sri Navadwipa Dham with the hope of attaining the cooling shade of the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Janava Devi. So, that extraordinary question. I think we're going to do that one. We're going to leave off this, because I'm trying to figure out a formula here where I can do these classes for YouTube where they don't get too long. So I'm going to stop here, and tomorrow we'll answer that question. We'll read it and answer it. Gaur Premanande Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, Guru Parampara, Jaya Rupanuga, Guru Parampara, Gaur Premanande.